You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. This week's edition of the Prospect Show is brought to you by our three sponsors of the show in TOVI Hockey, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, and Caisse Financial Group. In tonight's edition of the show, we got a fantastic guest joining the show first. He's from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. He currently plays on the Saskatoon Contacts. He got drafted first overall in the 2021 WHL draft back in December to the Spokane Chiefs. He moved out to Minnesota for a short little while in the 2021 part of his season to play for the Shattuck-St. Mary's Hockey Academy 16U team, and now he's back in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, playing for the Contacts. It's Berkly Catton. Berkly's going to be joining the show to talk about the first overall pick selection to the WHL draft, as well as his past in hockey, playing Bantam AA U15 in the Saskatchewan AA Hockey League, as well as the move out to Minnesota to play for Shattuck earlier in the season in 2021, and then coming back to play for the Saskatoon Contacts. It's going to be a great one tonight here on the Prospect Show with number 27 of the Saskatoon Contacts, Berkly Catton, first off here on the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions.
Wow!
And there he is, Berkly Catton, first overall pick in this year's, the 2021 WHL draft of the Spokane Chiefs, joining the show here tonight on this Monday evening. Berkly, thanks so much for coming on the show. I know we tried to do this at some point last year, had some connection difficulties, get it set up again, but here in a new year, 2022, you're finally making an appearance on the show. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining the show tonight. How are you on this Monday evening, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited.
Of course, and one thing I'm excited to talk about, just like all the other things we'll be talking about in tonight's show, but starting off with this one, the first overall draft pick in the WHL draft for 2021. Just talk about that moment, Berkly, when it was announced that you were the 2021's first overall pick going to the Spokane Chiefs in the WHL draft.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, ever since I've been a young kid, getting drafted to the WHL alone has been a goal of mine, and then obviously going first was pretty cool. But I'm super happy to be a part of such a great organization like Spokane, and yeah, I'm super excited to get down there and just get started.
Yeah, and I read that you're only going to be able to play a max of 5 games this year with the team until your season with the Contacts is over this year. But, talking about that, how it's been a dream of yours to play in the WHL, getting drafted there, the first step. I mean, just how surreal actually was that moment when, the first overall pick was announced. It was you getting to share it with family and friends, and, of course, getting to have that first conversation with the organization.
Yeah, I mean, when it was called and other people actually heard it too, it was kind of cool. I mean, yeah, then they reached out to me. Scott Carter reached out to me right after the draft. We had a good conversation and just kind of talked about everything, how Spokane is. And it was just unbelievable again, like just something that happens once in a lifetime. So, yeah, it was an unforgettable day. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen so many Saskatchewan-born players get selected in the WHL draft throughout the years. But I heard you were the first ever Saskatoon minor hockey product to be selected first overall. Just talk about that feeling of making history for yourself.
Yeah, well, you look at all the guys that have come out of Saskatoon, like Chandler Stevenson and just guys like that, and then being called first overall, being the first to do it. Obviously, it's an amazing accomplishment. I'm super honored, and just those guys are obviously such amazing hockey players and people, and hopefully one day I can follow in their footsteps.
You became the third first overall pick in Spokane's history of drafting, joining Ty Smith, who was drafted first overall back in 2015, and Jared Cowan back in 2006. Both were first rounders in the NHL draft. And I read that you had a chance to talk with Ty. How cool was that experience getting to talk with not only a former first overall pick, a player who played for Spokane, but also a player who's now playing in the NHL at this point?
Yeah, I mean, when he kind of texted me and he said it was Ty Smith, it was really cool. Obviously, he had such a great time in Spokane. He talked about how good it was and just how he had so much success there, and just said it was the best place for his development and growth as a hockey player. And said if they pick you, it's a great organization. So I mean, it was kind of hard. It was hard to turn down just from everything I've heard, and yeah, it was pretty cool that Ty reached out to me.
And I also read that you've had a chance to, get to know other players with Spokane connections as well. You skated with a guy named Adam Beckham. How cool was that experience?
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've talked to him quite a bit. He's kind of like a big brother, even though we've only met a couple times. But just the way he acts and carries himself, he's a really cool guy, and obviously a great hockey player. And again, just how he talks about Spokane so highly, I'm just super excited to get down there.
Talk about leading up to draft day. Of course, you played in Shattuck in the 2021 portion of your season. And then during the 2021 portion of your season, you come back to the AAA League in Saskatchewan, play 4 games. I know it was after the draft happened, but getting to play 4 games with Saskatoon, we'll talk about that after later on in the show. But just leading up to the draft day, what that was like, the anticipation, waiting to see if you get picked first overall.
Yeah, I mean, just even all my buddies, it's kind of a buzz talking around at school when we were all hanging out. And then when it kind of went down, and like Roger McQueen, one of my best friends, when he got drafted fourth overall too, it was pretty cool. And just lots of my buddies, pretty much all of them got drafted. So, I mean, it was pretty cool to watch them.
Yeah, and you've had a chance to play with Jordan Gavin in some tournaments. Of course, your buddy Roger McQueen. A lot of Saskatchewan players getting drafted in this year's draft. Of course, how cool is that? Just sharing that connection with this draft class. And so many people from Saskatchewan that got drafted, as well as a guy like Jordan Gavin. Having to cherish this moment forever, and knowing that you guys will be connected in that way for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, all great hockey players, great people. Just being able to know them, kind of grow up playing with them. Jordan, we played together and we were 10 years old in Minnesota for the first time, and we've kind of kept in touch ever since. So seeing him going second, Roger going fourth, I mean, lots of buddies. Cole Pearden, one of my good buddies too. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's such a cool experience, and that they all got to experience it. I mean, yeah, it's just awesome.
Talk about signing that contract with the Chiefs, making it official that you sign your rights with them, and how cool that experience was, putting that pen to paper that day.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, like I said before, it's always been a dream of mine, and kind of when it was sealed and done, it was pretty surreal. But yeah, just again, I'm super excited to get down there, play my first game, put on the red, white, and blue. So yeah.
And of course, you're doing this interview with me tonight. You had a chance to do an interview with the Spokane Chiefs. I'm sure that you've had a lot of other interviews been done, leading up to the time that you got drafted. And since then, talk about the media attention you've been getting, how that's been handling that.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, obviously I had to learn quite a bit. I mean, I've talked to lots of people that have gone through it and what they've had to say about it. I've just kind of listened and just tried to keep calm, tried to not say anything too dumb, but yeah, no, it's been good. I've had a couple interviews and I'd say they all went pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah. And, Spokane's getting a heck of a player. I mean, you've had success everywhere that you've been so far in your hockey life, but, for those fans out there that haven't watched you play, I mean, I've only had to get to see you play in, very small sample sizes on highlights online. But what type of player is Berkly Catton, and, what type of player Spokane is going to be getting from you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a super competitive player, and I think I have a pretty good skill set to go along with that when I compete. My skating keeps up, and my puck handling ability helps too. And I think I see the game pretty well. The players around me we always work well together. So I mean, I just love playing the game. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of the main things.
You're only going to get to play a max of 5 games with this team until your season is over with the Contacts this year. You'll have a chance to be a full member of the team next year, just seeing what happens. You'll probably have a pretty good shot to make the team next year. But, throughout the little amount of games that you'll be able to get to play this year, what are you looking to achieve in your short time in the WHL this season if you do end up getting that call to come up and play?
I mean, I'm just going to try and take it all in, the experience, the atmosphere. I'm just going to try and learn and kind of this summer even build on it, see what other players are doing, how good they are, then use it as a motivation for this summer to be ready for next year.
Well, congratulations, Berkly, for getting drafted first overall in the 2021 WHL draft. A huge moment for yourself and all of those who know you, your family members, and your friends as well. Speaking of that, how proud your family was of you. When your name got called to Spokane.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty proud. They've done so much for me. It's unbelievable, and to see it kind of pay off for them, even it was pretty cool, and it was a really special day for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great that you got to spend it with the people that you love, the people you care about, and boom,
Yeah.
you're drafted to Spokane, just waiting to, make that next jump up to the WHL at this point. Berkly, stick around with me. We're going to keep talking about not the WHL draft, but just your playing career so far in Bantam AA. We'll touch on that just a bit because we got a lot to get into with your time in Shattuck in 2021, as well as your time now with the Saskatoon Contacts. Berkly Catton, first overall pick in the 2021 WHL draft to the Spokane Chiefs on this edition of the Prospect Show. Stick with me and Berkly when we come back after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Berkly Catton, number 27 of the Saskatoon Contacts, U18 AAA team, joining the show. Berkly was the first overall pick in the 2021 WHL draft, going to Spokane first overall back in December of the past year in 2021. Had a great talk with Berkly talking about the draft and everything that happened. But Berkly, obviously you've had so much success everywhere you've gone at this point in your life. And really the first, stats that were put up that I could find on Elite Prospect was from 2018-19 when you were an underage player in the AA League in Saskatchewan, putting up 56 points in 30 regular season games with Saskatoon in your first season in that league as an underage player. Talk about that. Having that success, being able to adjust as well as you did to playing against all the competition as an underage that season, even though it was long ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun season. Playing up with older guys, I definitely had to learn a lot in a short amount of time. But I mean, we had a good, small, fast team, so I fit in well. And my line mate Luke Corte, who's having success now, we played really well together. And as the year went on, we started to get even better and better. Then yeah, we had a good run in playoffs, and it was just an all around fun year, and I definitely learned a lot, so it was good.
Yeah, and I mean, you had a lot of success, like 56 points, 25 goals, 31 assists in 30 games in the regular season, 8 goals, 4 assists for 12 points in 7 playoff games. Just talk about your playing style, how it allowed you to have so much success in transitioning, playing up a level, playing up an age group, playing against the competition you did that year.
Yeah, I think my brain helped me out quite a bit thinking the game, because I learned that they were all stronger than me, they're faster than me, so I had to use my brain, and that was probably one of the best lessons I could have learned for myself, because I found holes in the game, and I started to learn to get in front of the net. I started to learn to take passes off the wall, just the little things. I really started to learn and grow with my game. So yeah, those are kind of the things.
What was that like as a young guy at the time, even though all the players at that time playing, and I mean, you're still super young, you're only 15 years old, but being as young as you were back then, being an underage player, just bonding and getting to know the teammates you played with that year?
Yeah, I mean, luckily all the guys on the team were great guys, and they respected me. I respected them. So yeah, it was never a problem in the dressing room, on the ice, or anything. And if anything, they helped me along the way, with stuff, with just the league and everything. So yeah, I was lucky. I had a great team, great coach. It just worked out really well. So yeah.
And the success carried over for you that season into the playoffs, like 12 points in 7 playoff games. Talk about how nice that was for you, just to know that you were able to compete at that even higher level in playoff hockey, where the type of hockey that is played in the playoffs, as you know, is a lot different than the regular season play.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very different. But our team showed up. I mean, we had good competition too. Guys like Kevin Korchinski, Riley Height, Braden Yeager, Hunter Mayo. We're all guys in those playoffs, and our team went well up against them. So it was awesome. We bonded well together. Played fast, played hard, didn't play scared, and it worked out for us. We unfortunately lost to a stacked Martinsville team late in playoffs, but other than that, no, it was awesome.
Yeah, and those players you just mentioned, you'll have a chance to, go up against them in your WHL career at some point, which would be awesome for you. But just the situations that your coaching staff put you out that year to be able to get you comfortable, get you in the best possible positions to succeed in that first year as an underage.
Yeah, my coach was great. He put me in situations to do well. He never really, even if I had a rough game one night, I was still in a position to do well the next game. So he believed in me, which was super important, and it really helped. And I was on the power play. I got to play penalty kill. I got to play all sorts of situations, even as a young guy. So I mean, it was really good on his part, and it helped me out a lot.
2019-2020, I think it was probably your most impressive season to date. It would have been your first year as a Bantam, but you had that experience from the year before, so this was your second year as a Bantam player. 108 points in 30 regular season games, one of 5 players only in the league that year to reach the 100-point mark. Guys like Sam Oremba, Brady Burney, and Kaylin Lynn were the only players to have more than you. Just talk about that, how surreal that was to reach that point total you did that year with the Bandits.
Yeah, again, coach was great again. My line mate Trey Wilkie, we had great chemistry. We played together, and Huskies growing up ever since we've been little. So being able to play with him and having a great coach, putting me out a lot, it was awesome. Then yeah, we just lots of high scoring games that year in that league. So there was again, it was just a stacked league. Like Reed Andreessen, Caden Price, Sam Moremba, Kaylin Lynn, all those guys, like great hockey players. So going up against great competition, there are lots of goals to be scored. So yeah, again, a really fun year.
Yeah, and of course you switched over to playing with the Saskatoon Bandits the year before. You played with the Saskatoon Outlaws in that league, but you put up 58 goals, 50 assists that year. Obviously, playing with great line mates, as I feel like you allude to that. But being able to put up the goals you did, being able to use your high IQ and dish the puck out as many times as you did. Talk about how the skills in your game developed from the year before and really gave you a step up in your second season into having that type of production as an individual player.
Yeah, well, I mean, the year before with Outlaws, I didn't get as many chances to score. So when I did get the chances, I kind of learned to put the puck in the net. And then the next year, I got way more chances to have the puck on my stick, get shots off. So, I mean, when those opportunities came, I found I buried the puck quite a bit more. So I would say that year before definitely helped me out, a lot with the Bandits here.
Well, you continued that trend of playing up a level as an underage player, making that move to play in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League at that U18 age level, playing for the Saskatoon Contacts. Talk about that, what that was like being able to, play up another step, play up another age level from where you were at the time, playing in the league as competitive and skilled as the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of COVID, we couldn't have a full year, but we had a stacked team again, like guys, Brandon Yeager, Riley Height, Galen Lind, all those guys. Like just being on the ice with them and watching their movements, watching how they play the game, helped me out so much. And I still talk to lots of the guys to date. But yeah, again, made lots of good friendships, so it was definitely a good move.
Yeah, and like you said, unfortunately, did not get to play a full season. In fact, you only played 5 games that year in last season in 2020, 2021. But, within those 5 games, I mean, you had a chance to get called up the year before in one game and you scored a goal in that game. But just to be able to, get to, experience that type of skill, that type of size at such an early age in those 5 games, how huge that was for your development in terms of knowing what to work on moving forward to develop yourself to the best of your abilities.
Yeah, again, just guys with even more than moving up in bantam. I would say the bodies was different. They were growing men, lots of the guys. So I think learning to play with big body guys definitely was something I had to learn. In the corners and stuff, they had some of them 50 pounds on me. So I think just learning how to play off them and then not avoid hits, but learn how to take them better, stuff like that. Just more of the physical side of the game, I'd say, was kind of the thing I found the most.
And even though you only put up 2 points in those 5 games, I'm sure that the coaching staff, again, put you in a lot of good situations to, try to develop your game. Of course, at the time, before the season got canceled, the WHL draft was coming up the spring of 2021. So I assume the coaching staff was counting for that and trying to put you in any position possible for you to develop. Talk about the situations the coaching staff put you in that year to have the best success that you could in those 5 games.
Yeah. The coaching staff is the same last year as this year, and great guys. But I mean, last year our team was so stacked. We had so many guys up front where it was like there were so many guys you can put in any situation. So that was definitely different for me too. I wasn't used to that, so learning how to deal with that a little bit too was good for me. And this year I've came back and it's the same coaching staff. So, and this year I'm kind of more the guy. So, getting put in more situations this year has definitely been awesome for me. And yeah, just great group of coaches, and I'm super happy with them.
Well, Berkly, once we come back from this commercial break that's going to play in just a moment here, we're going to talk about the start of your 2021-2022 season where you went out to Minnesota to play for Shattuck and then coming full circle, coming back to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan to play for the Contacts. You're watching the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions with Berkly Catton, number 27 of this year's Saskatoon Contacts team. I'll be back with Berkly in just a moment. Welcome back to the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Joining me on the first part of tonight's episode is Berkly Catton, number 27 for the team that is in my background on my green screen right now, the Saskatoon Contacts. Going to switch the background for a moment here, for this next little bit here, Berkly, because you had a chance to move out to Minnesota and play for Shattuck-St. Mary's, their 16U team. That was the team you ended up making. Only got to play 15 games with them, but start off with this, the decision to go down and play there, going to one of the most prestigious hockey academies in the world, really.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, it's a great school that's produced so many people, and I think kind of the decision again, will just knowing how great the school is, and with COVID and everything in Canada shutting lots of stuff down, and the States being a little bit more relaxed, it was kind of the thing that drove it the most. But yeah, that would be the main factor.
Yeah, and so much NHL talent has come out of Shattuck St. Mary's, to name two people like Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon. How cool was that going to a school knowing that players like that have played there in the past?
Yeah, even just seeing their sticks on the wall and knowing they've walked through the same halls of you as you was pretty cool, and just knowing they went through the same process, did the same stuff on a day-to-day basis was pretty cool.
What was the hockey school lifestyle like, for the short amount of time that you were down in Minnesota playing for Shattuck?
Yeah, they kept you busy for sure. Kind of school, rink, school, really. So obviously the schooling was super important, but there was lots of time to grow your game on the ice and work on your skills, work out a great facility. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
You ended up making the 16U AAA team. You got to play with a lot of good talent on that squad. Talk about, the boys you got to know on that team and just getting to play with the skill you got to play with.
Yeah, I'd say Americans definitely have a different style of hockey for sure, and kind of watching them, they play super skillful, which was pretty cool, and some stuff the guys could do was really cool to watch. Hunter Anderson, Aiden Park, guys that are super skilled, and they're obviously having lots of success there right now. So still keeping in touch with them, talking to them, ask them how they're doing. They ask me how they're doing. So yeah, lots of great friendships have been made there. So it's good.
You talked about how it was a bit more skill based down there for you being a super skilled player yourself. Did you find the transition was pretty easy for you down there? Did it take a bit of time for you to adjust to the type of style that was being played down in the States?
Yeah, I would say it took a little bit to get a little bit adjusting. I mean, playing here my whole life, I've played teams from the States, but being on a team that's mostly American-based guys was pretty cool. Their experiences, some guys are from Las Vegas, some guys are from Arizona, which is kind of cool. I mean, everyone here is kind of from the same spot,
Right.
so yeah, I'd say that was kind of a cool thing too.
Yeah, and you had a lot of success in those 15 games you played with Shattuck in 2021. 23 points in 15 games played, 11 goals, 12 assists. Talk about, once you found your groove, what made you such a dangerous player down there in the States to be able to put up that type of point production down there?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I was starting to get my groove, and then injuries kind of got in the way and started slowing stuff down. But yeah, I would say I was getting chemistry with guys, and our team was really rolling. We were playing some good teams, and we were playing good. So yeah, just injuries kind of got in the way a little bit.
Did you guys have a chance to travel to many places, go on any showcase weekends or anything like that?
Yeah, there was a couple. Unfortunately, I couldn't go down to Detroit because of injury, but they went to Detroit. We went to Fargo. But there's lots of places. We were pretty much on the road every weekend, different places in Minnesota, whatever. But we were constantly playing teams and on the road playing hockey as much as we possibly could.
Obviously, being on the road a huge part of the hockey lifestyle, but seems like you are on the road, like you said, almost every single day, every single weekend. Talk about that experience, that type of lifestyle, the whole experience. How cool that was for you to experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's when like places like that are when teams bond together and learn to like each other and grow with each other. So lots of time on the bus. I got to know lots of guys really well. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. We were on the bus quite a bit, so I got to talk to different guys, different experiences, and talk lots of hockey, but also about other things, just about school and stuff. So it was nice to have some comfort.
You're now playing back in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League with the Saskatoon Contacts once again. Just, first off, talk about why you made that decision to come back.
Yeah, well, just like I said before, injury, kind of two things back to back, which was really sucked. And I think coming home, I had to come home either way because of the injuries. But as soon as I got home and kind of made the decision about going to the WHL, didn't make too much sense to go back because I would have been here for quite a while anyways with school and everything. It would have been tough. So just kind of made the decision to stay here, kind of get caught up on school again, then just, get going.
Yeah, and going through injury is such a tough thing, right? For
Yeah.
any hockey player, any athlete out there. Talk about how you've been able to rehab and really come back and try to get back to the type of game that you want to play out there. What that journey's been like.
Yeah, I think even sometimes lots of guys come back from injuries better, just time to rest, time to think. It was nice to have a little bit of rest when there's so much stuff going on and Shattuck with games, school. So that rest, and then obviously being so eager to go back to the ice, it was awesome. Got to do lots of skill stuff here for a little bit just with the injury. Then getting back to play some games just felt great, and I feel good. So it's really nice.
Yeah, and talk about success once again. Talking about success once again, 11 points in 4 games played for you with the Contacts since you've been back on that team. This team is also 13, 7, and 5 in 7th place at this point. Talk about, how nice it's been for you to find the success you've been having after the injuries you've been going through this season.
Yeah, again, with the coaches I had last year now being the same coaches, and they have a little bit of trust in me, and they know my game, and they know how I play and the situations I like to be in. So I've been put in lots of great situations, and we have a little bit of a younger team that's super energetic, which is awesome. Love the game, always out practicing, and then got some guys like Noah Chadwick, who are just obviously great hockey players. He's going to be a great player. He already is a great player. But, yeah, guys like that too with a little bit of mix with younger guys. It's been good. Lots of learning.
Well, Berkly, I just got a comment from LP Hockey Cards watching on YouTube. Thanks, LP Hockey Cards, for watching. He just asked, would Berkly be willing to sign a picture if one was sent in the mail? I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Yeah, no, for sure. That'd be pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, there you go, LP Hockey Cards. There's your wish granted. Berkly Catton's gonna hook you up for sure. Talking about just the talent on this year's team. Obviously, this team is in 7th place right now, but has a really good record. 13, 7, 5 so far, 5-0-2 losses, though there's been some close games. Just, the talent on this team, what the ceiling is for this year's squad, in your opinion, moving forward.
Yeah, I think even with the future, the next couple of years here, they're going to be a great team. And now even we're just getting better each day with practicing. It's been really good. I mean, we've been playing lots of good teams and we've been performing well. Just to see how far they've come from the start of the year to now is actually pretty amazing. And there's lots of great guys, great hockey players that have putting in the work, and it's paying off for them now.
Obviously, your coaching staff doing a really good job of getting you comfortable, putting you in really good situations. But with you being the age you are now, obviously older than last year in those 5 games that you played, how do you feel that the experiences that you've had, going to Shattuck, growing a bit, being that older player now than you were last year is helping you so far, and it's going to help you moving forward this season in terms of trying to have the most successes possible going forward this season?
Yeah, I mean, just even compared to last year, the experiences I've gone through to this date is pretty amazing. I've been put in lots of different situations, so kind of learning from those situations and growing from them, I think it's definitely helped me a lot coming back here with the Contacts.
Obviously a lot of season to be played. Hopefully COVID-19 doesn't end up wrecking it all like it has for the past 2 seasons. But obviously the championship always the goal. You probably will have a chance to, go to Spokane at some point and play with that team as well this year in those, in a max of 5 games. But talk about what you're looking to achieve heading forward into the rest of this 2022 part of the season.
Yeah, I just think our team we've been growing so much each day, and we can go up against anyone. We played against the Blazers there the other night too. We're top of the league, so when we sucker it with them, took it to a shootout. So that just shows that we can compete with any team, we can beat any team, and I think that's definitely a confident booster for our team. So just moving forward, if we know we can accomplish stuff like that, it'll definitely help us out.
Well, Berkly, thanks so much for taking the time and doing this interview here tonight. We finally got it done. Happy to do it. And, best of luck to you and the team heading forward this season. Best of luck, to you when you hit the ice for the first time in a Spokane Chiefs jersey. And, maybe in the future we can do this again and connect once again on the Prospect Show.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much.
Number 27 of the Saskatoon Contacts, Berkly Catton, on tonight's edition of the Prospect Show. You take care, Berkly.
Yeah, thank you, you too.
And what a feeling getting to interview a number 1 overall pick in the WHL draft in 2021, Berkly Catton. And let me tell you, folks, this kid, you'll be seeing him in the NHL very soon. In that 2024 draft, he'll be a pretty high draft pick, in my opinion. And moving forward after that, yeah, he's going to be a treat to watch once he continues to develop and gets to that NHL level. And it's going to be so fun to see what he's going to be able to do in his WHL career. So coming up after the commercial break, I'm going to be talking to Charlie Grant, a forward for the OHA Penticton team in the CSSHL U15 Prep League. In this week's edition of MCN Sports Advising, Charlie's going to come on to talk about his first season in the U15 Prep Division in the CSSHL with OHA Penticton, as well as his time with MCN Sports Advising, what they've done for him so far. You're watching the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Stick around for more with me and Charlie Grant, the next guest, after this commercial break.
Welcome to Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot-Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
Welcome back to the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions, everybody. Berkly Catton, 2021 WHL first overall draft pick to the Spokane Chiefs. He's now playing on the Saskatoon Contacts. He joined the show here first on this week's edition of the Prospect Show. We're now moving into this week's edition of MCN Sports Advising on the Prospect Show. And joining me is a 2007 born player, Charlie Grant, on this edition of the Prospect Show. Charlie, thanks for coming on and joining tonight's edition of the show. It's a bit of a time difference. It's 8:42 where I am right now. I know it's coming up on 7 o'clock where you are, but how are you doing on this Monday evening, man? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Excited to talk about your season so far. And, you've been a pretty productive player so far this season with 22 points in 20 games played. But, you're playing for the Okanagan Hockey-Academy in Penticton, BC. You're a 2007 born player, your first year in the U15 prep division. Talk about, why you chose OHA as that place you want to develop your hockey, play your playing style at this point in your career.
Yeah, I just know the bonding down there, the coaching, and the chance to be on the ice every day and improve every day. So,
and we are having some trouble hearing Charlie here. 1 second, folks. We're going to get Charlie back in the show in just a moment here. Just going to throw a text over to Charlie for him to rejoin the stream here. But coming up after Charlie is done on this interview tonight in the show, we're going to be doing an edition of player analysis, which is now known as, I'm now renaming it player breakdown as player analysis. I've seen other segments called it on different channels on YouTube. So one would be a bit more original. I know player breakdown isn't the most original name, but it's better than player analysis, as many other channels use that title for their types of segments like that. So 1 second here, folks. I'll be back in just a moment. Sit tight. We'll try to get Charlie Grant back here on the show in just a moment. Welcome back to the Prospect Show, everybody. We got Charlie Grant in the backstage of the studio right now. We're going to add him in, and hopefully the connection is a bit better, but really nothing we can do about it. So we'll have to just do our best here to, see how this goes. Charlie, we got you back in the studio now, man. Sorry about that. Just some connection difficulties with me and you there, but I'll re-ask the question that I asked you to start off, so we can try to get an answer in here. Why you chose OHA as that place for you to, continue to develop your hockey play, your hockey style, just your game out there in general on the ice at this point in your hockey life?
Yeah, I just know the facilities there and the history there are both great. The chance to be on the ice every day is an opportunity you don't get every day, which, it was an easy decision for me to go with the academy. The bonds and the coaching there, I love it down there. It's great.
Yeah. For sure. That's great to hear, and great to know that you're in a place that you'll be able to do those things. Of course, you're from West Kelowna, obviously playing in OHA in Penticton, BC. Talking about you talked about bonding, how that's a big part of why you chose OHA. What's the bonding been like with you and the boys so far this year with this group of boys you're playing with?
The chemistry with my teammates is unreal. We click together. We're always happy to be together, and it's great seeing them every day.
Of course, you also talked about the coaching staff, how that was a huge part of why you chose OHA. Talk about, how nice it's been to play under this coaching staff this year, and the, opportunities they've been giving you out there to play in the situations you have so far.
Oh, sorry, cut out for a second. Would you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, for sure, man. My apologies about this. The connection seems to not be the best, but we'll try to get through it here. Just the coaching staff, that was, you talked about how that was one of the reasons why you chose OHA. What the coaching staff has been like so far this year?
Oh, it's great. The coaches they just give you what you need. They're great to work with. Just unbelievable people. It's definitely super nice being able to know that the coaching there is what I need, and just move forward with these coaches.
Throwing it back to last season before we, continue talking about the season you're having this year. I saw on Elite Prospects, I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but did you play for the varsity team for those 9 games you played last year? So, just 9 games with the varsity OHA team in the U15 division. Last season, you had 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. Even though it was a short amount of time, only playing 9 games, not ideal in terms of trying to want to play in a full season. But of course, we all know the story. COVID-19 canceled all of hockey here in Canada last year. But, talking about how nice it was for you to have that type of production you did throughout those 9 games with the varsity team.
Yeah, just once again, chemistry with my teammates. Our team this year is pretty much the exact same team as last year, with a couple of new guys. They're great. They help the team out tremendously. It's without these teammates, I don't know how much of that would have been possible.
Well, you guys are a very talented team this year. You guys are currently in 5th place, an 11-5-3 record, 91 goals for, 73 against. You guys have the 7th most goals out of 17 teams in the U15 prep division, and 73 goals against, tied 8th least given up out of 17 teams. Talking about, this offense, this team offensively, obviously, you've talked about the chemistry. You've alluded to that being such a huge part of why, you've had success and why the team has had success. Talk about how you guys have been able to bond this year and gel out there with the chemistry leading to those 91 goals in total on the team so far. And folks, my apologies. We're going to have to reschedule this interview with Charlie Grant. Going to try to get it out for you next week. Really sucks. I really wanted to get an interview done with him, but for some reason the connection, I don't know if it's me or if it's him, but yeah, the connection not being the best for tonight. So we are going to take one more commercial break here in the show, and then once I come back, I'm going to do this week's edition of not player analysis, but renamed it to Player Breakdown. And on this week's edition of Player Breakdown, it's the 5th ever segment of this segment. I'm going to be breaking down the game of Berkly Catton and what makes him such an effective and talented hockey player out there. You're watching the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Stick around for more after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions, everybody. My apologies there for keeping you waiting. Was just messaging Charlie and setting up a time, a later date to do the interview. You guys will be seeing him on next week's edition of the show on the MCN Sports Advising segment. Just unfortunate that we weren't able to get one out to you guys this week on the Prospect Show, but welcome back to the show. Of course, I had the pleasure to interview one of the brightest prospects in hockey at this point in, for prospects, 2006 born, probably maybe one of the best prospects out of all the 2006 born players there are out there. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched too many 2006 born players play, so I can't really make that judgment call just yet, but he definitely is going to be a star moving forward if he continues to develop. And I'm of course talking about number 27 forward for the Saskatoon Contacts AAA team, Berkly Catton, on this week's edition of Player Breakdown. Let's get into it. And of course, Berkly, the first ever Saskatoon-born product to, just looking at it again, the first ever Saskatoon minor hockey product to be selected first overall, which is pretty darn cool. Obviously you look at the production, the stats that he's put up in his lifetime, like 56 points in 30 regular season games played and 12 points in 7 playoff games as an underage player back in 2018-19 with the Saskatoon Outlaws. In 2019-2020, he had 108 points in his, what would have been his first season of Bantam if he didn't play as an underage player, but 108 points in 30 regular season games played with the Saskatoon Bandits in his second year playing at that Bantam age level. And then you look at 2021, he advances another age level and plays for the Saskatoon Contacts only for 5 games, only puts up 2 points, but just an unreal achievement for him to once again age up another level, being an underage. Then he goes to play for a very, prestigious hockey academy in Shattuck-St. Mary's in the 2021 part of his season. This year put up 23 points in 15 games played. And then this year, in 4 games played with the Saskatoon Contacts since he's been back playing in that league, started playing games shortly after he got drafted. He's put up 5 goals, 6 assists in 4 games played so far. Good enough for 11 points. But what makes Berkly Catton the type of player that he is? Well, it's high IQ. He's a good skater. He's got a good shot. He pressures that puck carrier so darn well, and he's fantastic with his stick at taking away the puck from players and good at protecting the puck by lifting the stick when he has possession of the puck. And I'm going to show you guys all of the clips that I found on the internet of what makes Berkly Catton so good. And I took these clips off of the Dub Network's YouTube channel as well as Wagon Hockey's Facebook page. I'll link both of those channels down below. And I will also link the stuff I said I was going to link for last week's edition of Player Analysis in the description of that episode next week. But let's get into it this week. Berkly Catton on this edition of Player Breakdown, not Player Analysis. I think I said Player Analysis there. But this week's edition of Player Breakdown on the Prospect Show, starting it off, I just got to get the Berkly Catton tape here for you guys and show you guys what makes Berkly Catton such a fantastic hockey player. Let's get the overlay up for the Prospect Show here, and then we can get started. Okay, right on. Well, just looking at it, going into Berkly's IQ, he sees the ice very well. He's in good position out there, and he's creative in it. And on this play here, he's in great position. Berkly wore number 7. By the way, folks, this is very old highlight footage. I couldn't find anything more recent than the 2019-2020 season, but this will give you an idea of what type of hockey player Berkly Catton is. So Berkly wearing number 7 that season for the Saskatoon Bandits. He's going to get this puck up to the point. Might have got taken out there. I couldn't see it too well, but Berkly He's going to be in that open space right there near on the right face-off circle. And Berkly, patient, he's going to wait for the rebound, steps in to get the rebound, and puts it in for a goal. Now looking at it here, Berkly's going to take the face off. The team is in white. He's going to chase this puck down. He's going to lift the stick and boom, right into the slot. I have also noticed I say boom a lot, so I'm going to try to cut that down. But just a good play, quick on the defender. He gets on him quick. He lifts the stick, a good stick to lift the puck away by lifting the stick on that player, and then ends up getting it into the slot and creates a high danger scoring chance. And also notice how Berkly is always in good position in front of the net in those high quality areas, always staying in position. If there's a rebound, always in the best position to get it. You'll see it again. Boom, lifts the stick, gets it in the slot. Rebound there. He's going to go back to the front of the net to try to get the rebound, and then keeps a good gap on the puck, takes it away. Could have been a penalty there, but avoids it and gets a shot on net. Now you're going to see here on a breakout play, Berkly ends up getting it. Not the best pass, but kicks it into a good area for him to chase this down with his good speed. Comes in here, and just his ability to be creative out there, I think, is huge on this play. He's going to see that this defenseman not in the best position. Berkly can either take this puck wide and maybe get this pass across if this player busts to the net. Berkly has the puck here, by the way. Or he can take a shot from here, or he can do something like he just does here. Drags it to the forehand, toe drags that defenseman, and puts it in. And just great awareness here from Berkly. You're going to see it. Once again, he's going to see that this defenseman not in the best position, going to poke check. Berkly has some time, has some space here that he creates for himself, gets him into a really good scoring area with his toe drag, into really good position, has some space to make that toe drag, and makes no mistake with a good shot, and it's in the net. Now here, Berkly, he can be trusted in many situations, and on this one, he's on the penalty kill. So Berkly, good pressure here, forces the defenseman to make a decision. He chooses to pass that across the ice. Puck out, goes down low. Berkly comes down low and continues to put the pressure on. Good gap on the defenseman there. Staying aggressive. Forces the defenseman to make a pass away. Ends up getting caught out of a bit of position here. Berkly does, but gets back into good position, getting back to the center part of the ice and more of the middle of the ice, not as much on the outside. And Berkly continuously moving out there. He's gliding right here. He's right in front of the net. He's going to go down low to try to take this pass away. It ends up going out. Then there's going to be a rebound. You're going to see Berkly patient. He waits, and then he starts busting up the middle of the ice, gets a pass, and then Berkly breaks away with speed, pulls it to the backhand, and puts it into the net. And you'll probably be seeing that play later on, as I do think it will be repeated. But on this play here, Berkly continuing to move in the neutral zone, builds up speed, gets in here, and then he's going to stop up, realizing that there's a lot of open space to pass this puck. I mean, a lot of open space to pass this puck to the player in the good high quality scoring area here. All the players drawn to Berkly, and we're going to play this back again. Berkly coming in, a threat with the speed here. You can see that this defenseman is trying to do his best to match the speed of Berkly. And once that defenseman goes for the poke check, Berkly, with his hockey smarts, creative player, is going to pull this back to the forehand quickly, makes a quick pass to a teammate, and it's in the net, always putting his teammates in the best position possible to put it in the net, or try to get a chance and put it, or get a chance and put it in the net. Always, obviously, you're not going to score every time, but Berkly does a wonderful job of getting players the puck in the best possible scoring areas that they can. Now you're going to see here, Berkly is going to be on the left side of the play here. That's where the puck is. He's high up in the zone here. He's going to come down. And just looking at it here as this play develops, Berkly with that good stick, going to pickpocket that player, builds up a speed in the neutral zone, and he's gone. Quick release on that left side, on that blocker side, I guess, on the right side of the goalie, and Berkly makes no mistake about it. And you talk about, some physicality. Obviously, Berkly wants to get more physical as his career gets along here. But on this play, no shortage of physicality there. Sends a guy into the boards. Looking at it, Berkly creating speed in the neutral zone for himself as he goes in with this puck. Goes to the left side. Gets a shot on net. Just enters the zone with such speed and attacks with a purpose. You're going to see here Berkly in good position to receive that puck. In the high slot, I believe, just at the top of the circles there on the right. A quick shot, puts it in the net, and there's a goal for the team. Berkly, aggressive, good with the stick, pickpockets a player there, and able to be strong on the skates there as he does a backhand, forehand move, and you're going to see it here. He doesn't get it into the net, but Berkly gets the puck behind the net, behind the goal line. You're going to see here, you can see he looks for the pass quickly at first, sees that there's nothing open, but realizes that he has a wraparound opportunity here. He's creative. He's always looking for opportunities to make the best play possible, the most high efficient play possible. And he does just that with his good skating, his good edges, does a mohawk turn around the net and puts it into the net for a goal for his team. Now you're going to see here Berkly kicks that out to the left to his teammate. And he's not going to lollygag. He's not going to wait up. He's going to bust to the net, stick down, gets a backhand redirect into the net, or a backhand touches it into the net. I'm not quite sure what the word would be. Anyways, he is able to put that stick down and able to, put that puck in the net after getting a pass back quickly off the backhand. You're going to see here Berkly once again with the stick, protects the puck nicely by lifting that stick and gets by that player. A quick shot, and I believe that did go in. Here's another, here's a replay of what we already saw. And this as well. But we're going to see the good skating here of Berkly Catton and his ability to stay patient out there and just wait for, ice to open up for players to get open. And just look at this edge work here by Berkly. Tight turns, great edges. He's able to keep creating space for himself there before passing it off to a teammate. Berkly, once again, kicking it out, goes to the net, or keeps driving to the net, receives the pass in the slot, and puts a quick shot in. And then this one here, Berkly driving the zone, the offensive zone with speed, passes it off to a teammate, and with the stick down, continues going to the net. He's going to get a pass back, and boom, that's that redirect, that tip with the backhand. Once again, that results in a goal. So just looking at Berkly Catton's game to finish off here, running through it again. He's got a fantastic stick. He uses his stick very effectively. He's good at taking the puck away from players. He's good at protecting the puck by lifting players' sticks, even when he has possession of it, to, create that opportunity for him to keep possession of that puck, which you guys saw him do that at least once only once in those clips that you guys saw that I showed you tonight. He sees the ice very well. He's always in good position, always has his stick on the ice at all times when his team has the puck, in the offensive zone. He's a really creative player, does a really good job of getting defenders to bite on the other team. He's got a really good shot, a really good release. I'm sure it's only gotten more powerful. He pressures the puck carrier. constantly. And I think that's why he gets a lot of his chances, is he's always constantly pressuring the puck carrier, and he's able to create turnovers at times and turn the puck over into his possession, and able to come away with it more times than not. And he's a very good skater, very good on his edges, very elusive skater, and he's got a very quick stride as well. And creates some good speed for him. He can build up a speed really good in the neutral zone and blow by players, as you guys did see. And yes, those clips are from a long time ago at this point in 2019, 2020, but those were the things he was doing good back then. I'm sure those things have only gotten better, and his skills have heightened out of the things that I showed you guys in tonight's episode. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of Player Breakdown on ASTV Productions edition of the Prospect Show. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, what you guys like that I broke down, what I could have done better in tonight's edition of the segment. But yeah, can't wait to do it again next week on the Prospect Show on Player Breakdown. But that's going to do it for tonight's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. Everybody, I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth. I want to thank Berkly Catton, Spokane Chiefs first overall pick, the first overall pick in this year's WHL draft, for coming on the show and talking about, getting drafted first overall to Spokane, as well as, his playing career so far, playing Bantam AA with the Saskatoon Outlaws and Saskatoon Bandits in the Saskatchewan AA Hockey League U15 age group, as well as talking about his time going down to Minnesota in 2021 of this season to play for Shattuck-St. Mary's, and coming back to play for the Saskatoon Contacts in Saskatchewan. Best of luck to Berkly and his team, as I said in this episode, in the interview I did with him earlier, in terms of, them trying to get a championship. And also best of luck to him once again for to continue the great season that he's been having. Hope to see him in a Spokane Chiefs jersey at some point this season, getting some experience, getting some playing time in that league. And yeah, just wish him all the best in his hockey career here moving forward into the WHL and beyond, as well as in the Saskatchewan Male AAA Hockey League this season. But, I also want to thank Charlie Grant for coming on the show here tonight. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to have Charlie on tonight's edition of the Prospect Show fully. I'll be talking to him again next week, so don't worry, guys. You'll hear from Charlie Grant coming up on next week's edition of the show. And also thanks to everyone who listened to this week's edition of, or watched this week's edition of Player Analysis. Ben Kloss, I do remember you, man. How you doing? How's it going? How's your Monday night going, man? But yeah, I also want to thank the viewer, the viewer, for tuning into tonight's edition of the Prospect Show. And I also want to thank the great sponsors of the Prospect Show in Evolve Green, in Caisse Financial Group, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, as well as TOVI Hockey for sponsoring another edition of the show. Next week's edition of the Prospect Show comes to you live on next Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. You guys can catch it on our Facebook at ASTV Productions, on our YouTube at Amateur Sports TV, as well as on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, and on our website at astvproductions.com. Be sure to check out our social media pages next Monday as well, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, and on our Instagram as well at ASTV Productions, as we will be announcing who the guests will be for next Monday's edition of this show. But until next week, on next week's edition of the Prospect Show, I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth, giving you the salute and signing off now. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday night. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe out there as well. Stay warm out there as well. If it's cold where you guys are at, bundle up. Don't be catching hypothermia out there. Want to stay safe as possible. And if you are outside quite a bit in the wintertime, be sure to bundle up, but you already know the drill. But yeah, stay safe out there, stay warm, have a wonderful rest of your week, a wonderful rest of your Monday night, and have a wonderful and safe weekend as well. And until next Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, folks, I'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.